Yeah, that thing is county relief. Okay. Now there was another incident. This incident happened in New York City. Now, there's a man, he was a police officer in my hometown. He was in the forensics lab doing ballistic testing for like 25 years. He ended up going to college, getting a doctorate in forensic science. I think he's one of the deputy commissioners in New York City now. He was at one point, I'm not sure. He spent a year investigating a police shooting. Here's the problem with the police shooting. There were 3 undercover officers, you know the undercover drill. Plain clothes, all that other bullshit. Now, an undercover officer still has the obligation of an uniformed officer. Stand your ground, advance on the suspect. No retreat, take the suspect into custody, take him down, protect the people. That's the way it is, man. What do you want to do? Now, these 3 officers were pursuing the suspect. And the guy had a history of drugs, the guy had a history of illegal weapons possession. This was not an altar boy. This was not a saint by any means. He got in his car, and this is a busy street. It's the middle of the night, but it's one of those busy streets with all nightclubs and bars and all that jazz at all hours of the night. He gets in his car and he heads straight towards them. Whip out their guns, boom, 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 boom. Now, the media said they put 50 bullets into him. Most cops in New York City carry the Glock 19. 15 rounds plus 1 in the mag, plus 1 in the chamber. 15 plus 15 plus 15. 1 plus 1 plus 1. 48 rounds. They had 48 rounds, but 50 sounds better, doesn't it? Now, unless one of the cops had a Glock 17 magazine, whatever. Now, he's in a speeding car coming at them. They fire 48 bullets at him. How many bullets really hit him? 7, 8, 10? I don't know the exact count. Now, there was a whole uproar. Oh my God, police brutality, blah, 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 the cops this and that. First of all, last I checked, getting in a speeding car heading towards a police officer was a felony. It doesn't matter that he's undercover, it's a felony. And some people might say, well, maybe he thought they were criminals or whatever. The punchline was, there are 3 officers, he's coming at them, he's going to run them over. And let me tell you something right now. A car is going to run out of gas. A car's gas is going to last much longer than a gun's bullets, okay? So someone in a speeding car is more dangerous than someone with a gun. A lot more dangerous. I'd rather be confronted by a gun than a car. Because the bullet is going to go with me and leave a mark. A bad mark. A lot of blood, a lot of nerve damage. The car is going to hit me entirely, run me under the wheels, and I'm going to die. At least a bullet I have a chance. You know? So these officers ended up going on trial and ended up getting found not guilty. It was ruled as self-defense. Now, I took an organized crime class January to May of 2000. No. September to December of 2010, I took an organized crime class. And the professor was a detective from the city of Mount Vernon over here. And we mentioned it in the class for some reason. And there was a girl in the class, she couldn't get why they had to shoot that many times. Why did all the officers have to shoot at him? And I was following out to the parking lot. Yeah, we were going to our cars together. I wasn't fucking following. We were going to our cars together, and I explained to her, you know, you're not like, okay, you killed the guy last week, I'm gonna kill this guy, you kill the guy next week. No, it's, oh shit. That's how it is in real life. Oh shit. It's not like it is in Lethal Weapon or Die Hard where you go, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, boom, and kill the guy with 1 bullet in the eye and he's dead. It's not like the movies that scared the Brady campaign where the guy takes an M16, puts it at his hip, fires 1 bullet, the bullet goes 400 yards, hits the guy in the nostril and he dies. It's not like that at all. Pressure, those 3 cops, I will bet you any amount of money that neither one of those cops knew what the other one was doing. I will bet you any amount of money on that. I will also bet you any amount of money that from the minute they saw him hit the gas until the minute they stopped firing the last bullet, not more than 5 seconds went by. Oh, by the way, speaking of gunfights, the gunfight at the OK Corral, the most famous gunfight in history, 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds. That's all. Not like 10, 15 minutes like it is in the fucking movies. So, that's the case. Now, when you pull a trigger under pressure, You pull the trigger, your brain pulls the trigger the first time. Your brain pulls the trigger the first time. Your body pulls the trigger all the other times, okay? This movement here, bang, 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 that is an involuntary muscle. Your body is thinking on its own. Your brain is turned off completely, and all you're doing is this. Okay? Also, one thing you have to understand, when you shoot somebody, they say you shot somebody. When a police officer shoots somebody, they say the police department shot somebody. Okay? That police officer represents every single police officer in the country when he's on trial or when he's being investigated for shooting. They don't say officer, they say the police. Okay? And the standard of a police officer is higher than the standard of a citizen. Okay? If you are involved in a deadly incident where you shoot or stab a violent criminal and they die, your investigation is actually more lenient than the police officer. The police officer has a much harder time filling out the paperwork, being scrutinized. They want to know every little last detail. Did you identify yourself as a police officer? Were you in uniform? Were you undercover? Was it a last resort? Could you have arrested? They want to know all these questions. Now, put yourself in the officer's shoes, okay? You're in your own home, late at night, no moon, all the traffic lights are out, so black you can't see a hand in front of your face. You get up, you hear a noise, you get up, you take out your 12-gauge shotgun. It's not your spouse, it's not your kids. You see a figure lurking in the dark. You tell the figure, freeze. The figure advances on you. Something in his hand. You fire one shot, double up buck, hits him in the face. He goes down. You turn on the light. It's a fly swatter. You thought it was a knife because of the dark. It was a fly swatter. Should I put you in prison? Close your eyes and think about the next time you criticize a police officer. I'm gonna check it. Yeah, I know, I'm not supposed to tell me to check. Okay. Okay, do that. The next time you see a police shooting, or a police stabbing, or a police bludgeoning, do what I do. Quietly observe and look at all the details before you judge the officer. I will bet you any amount of money, my friends, that out of 1,000 officers that shoot a suspect, 999 of them were justified. Now, some things about approaching an officer. Okay, you have to understand any unwelcome touching of an officer is a felony. I was watching one of those shows about jail, where there were two guys in a jail cell, they were being processed. They ended up in a fight. The deputies had to come in and break them up. As they were fighting, a female deputy got hit in the throat. Wasn't real bad, just a little mark on it, no big fucking deal. Now, she's a deputy. He's a prisoner. Third-degree felony. She didn't press charges. The state pressed charges. Okay? You can hit a cop. Just touching a cop is a felony. Now, obviously, if I'm outside and there's a storm and the tree is going to come down and I run over and knock the cop out of the way, it's not a felony. It's not a crime. I saved his life. If I'm running at night and I'm running and a cop is coming out of an alley and I knock him over and he's hurt real bad, well, it was an accident, pitch black, and I didn't see him. I was running too fast. I collided into him. I help him up. If necessary, I call for an ambulance. It's a total accident. I didn't do it on purpose. But if you deliberately touch a cop, if you deliberately put a cop in danger, if you deliberately do something that would make a cop think he's in danger, you are automatically guilty of a felony. Automatic. Doesn't matter toy gun, doesn't matter plastic knife, or plastic knife. Automatic. When you approach a cop, you want to approach him from the front. If he's got his back to you, you want to call out officer or excuse me and keep your hands visible. You don't want to be approaching a cop with this in your hand like this. Like, officer, I was wondering, my car broke down, can you help me out? That's going to be seen as a sign of aggression. Also, you don't want to approach a cop and have your hand like this, or have your hand like this, or have your hand like this, because that's going to be a sign of aggression. if you have to come in close to a cop to talk to him, like to tell him a secret, he might not want you to get close to him. He might tell you, here, hand me this pad, write down, and pass it back to me because you don't want to come close to me. Or if the cop trusts you, he'll say, okay, you want to tell me a secret because you witnessed the fucking murder. Okay, you want to signal to him that you're coming closer. You don't want to come closer automatically because you might feel threatened by that. Most of the times you get too close to a cop, and I tend to get too close to people when I talk to them. If you're too close to the cop may say, okay, sir or ma'am, can you please take one step back? Thank you. Not a problem. You're talking to the cop, he feels you're too close, so say, can you please back away, sir? Not a problem at all. Okay? You don't ever want to approach a cop when he's conducting business. Obviously, if you see someone that's getting ready to pull out a knife, you want to say, officer, watch out, but if you see a cop conducting his business, you want to stay as far away as possible because he's already got too much on his table anyway. You always want to talk to an officer in a low tone. I tend to yell and talk loud. That's just natural. But you always want to talk in a low tone, if possible. Maybe you might be hard of hearing and you might have to yell real loud. But try as hard as you can to keep it down. You want to avoid saying fuck and, scumbag, and because he might or she might think that you're talking to them or cursing at them. If you're saying, officer, this is pretty fucked up. My car got done and it's so fucked up that some guy hit my car and ran. That's just you being vulgar. But if you say, fucking bullshit with this fuck, okay, he might consider it confrontational and he might arrest you for it. Okay? So, that's one thing. But you have to understand that the most dangerous thing in a cop's life is the pullover. The pullover on the road. The second most dangerous thing in the cop's life, domestic violence. Let me check my time again, so I'm so paranoid. Okay, I'm going to close out now. But just know that you should support the cop because when you dial 911, Al Sharpton is not going to come save you. I'll tell you that shit right now. Okay? Nor is the ACLU. Nor is the Brady campaign. Nor is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Okay? When you call 911, okay, the person coming to save you, try not to criticize them. That's all. Just be advised. Thank you.